we are moving right along with the building and starting to get our boards on. There's one, this will be where our double doors are gonna be. And then I'm still working on trying to get everything else framed up, realizing that I messed up a few spots, but fixing it. Not a major deal, but I was putting boards across here, so like right here I gotta fix, so I put a board across here. I gotta cut this out so I can run a 2x4 up. I had to make some changes on the plans because the way they did it wasn't right, and it's not the way I wanted it either, because it showed that my door, they showed cutting it out to the ground and the door being level to the ground, and apparently they didn't put in for 6 inches of concrete, and if they did, that means that I'd have to dig out 6 inches more down, which I mean I have to dig out a little bit and move it around, which ain't no big deal, but it's not the way I wanted it. And plus, not only that, I got enough height on my poles. All I'm gonna do is, so basically where that bottom board is where my concrete's gonna go. So this right here will be ground level. Top of this board will be ground level. And that's the way I wanted it, because out here I wanted to put this down far enough, and I'm gonna have about 4-inch concrete slab up or out here that's gonna butt up against the bottom of the drip edge for the steel. So it'll go up against that, and then it'll come out, and we will do we'll come out, I don't know how far, but however far, we'll probably pull this back a little bit, and then we're going to do a retaining wall kind of down through here, just about where this walk-in door is going to be right here, and then this will all slope down into the drive. So I'm going to pull this back a little bit. Over here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull it back a little bit, because I'm going to trim out some of these trees, and that way I have a passageway to go up around this way. And I can level all this out up here so I can park, because eventually what I said was I was going to do a lean-to off here, probably a decent sized lean-to off there, so I can park my tractor, maybe have some wood storage or something for the wood burner. But we'll get to that whenever we get to it. So I got all the boards in over here. I had to trench out a little bit. I knew this side was a little high. I didn't realize it was that much higher, but it's no big deal. I got them all trenched in, leveled out, so it's level from here to there. So all of this, actually, what we talked about doing is we're going to come in with the tractor, dig all this out up to this corner. A little bit of this I'll have to dig out, but we're not for sure whether we want to do a retaining wall or we just have it sloped down and we're just going to line it with rock. We'll put some padding, you know, some coverage down for the rock, and then we'll put some rock in behind here, because back behind here is not really going to be anything special, other than maybe one day I might build a water catchment system and have a couple water tanks. And I'll probably, what I'll do is I'll tie something in to like the upstairs. That way I can walk out into and get into the water catchment stuff, because I want my tanks up at least 8 foot in the air. And if I do that, I can insulate it and everything, and I can have everything run into those water tanks from the top of my building, so I'll have plenty of rain catchment. But so yeah, that's what we're doing right now, moving right along. Like I said, I'm trying to fix some mess ups I did. I'm getting this framed in. I'm working on trying to get the rest of the boards here. I haven't done anything up top yet. I'll work on that once once I get this all up around the bottom. It's going to take me enough time to do the bottom to get it all situated. So like right now, the sides and the backs, they'll be easy to do because I don't have any windows to put in right now. Windows will come in later when we go to do that, but not too worried about those right now. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Trying to get all the boards on, at least around somewhat the bottom part of it. Trying to get our doors framed out, make sure they're good. I still got to do the big door. I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. I might have to pull the tractor around to get it, but that's what we're working on. But anyway, so got those cut out. Realized I cut this one out because apparently there was some beams that didn't have the boards already cut to a certain length, and these ones went all the way up. Cut that one out, and I don't think I have a truss actually going on this one. I think the truss is actually over here. I have to build a beam there. The only two things that I don't have up here are my headers. I got to get one here for the 8-foot door, and then one there for the 14-foot door, and then put in my beams for the trusses. So those will come later. And I know these here above the doors, they weren't supposed to be there, but I left them there. There's going to be a header there, but that header goes just below that board there. So I just left it there that way because those headers are heavy. So that way, if I put them up there, I can probably put them up with a couple ratchet straps, and then I can strap them to the top board and actually get them nailed in, and I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to handle them and dropping them. But the back side's just got one more row to go there, so that way, and then the truss will be up above that. But the I gotta take the poles out. I gotta figure that out too, which boards. I think there might be 8-foot boards that go there, but there's boards that I had to take the center ones out and then put taller ones in for the truss. But still got to do that. And then this wall I have to do the two like I did over here, but at least these two will just be straight across because I don't have anything going in there. And but that's what we're doing. So we're stopping for tonight, but we'll pick back up again here pretty soon.